Hi everyone, the book I'm reviewing today is called No Rules Rules, co-authored by Hastings and Erin Meyer. And for those of you based in South Africa, I've purchased my copy of this book from Take a Lot, so you can purchase it online. I've selected two extracts of this book. The first one covers a chapter that talks on salaries, and I think with the discussions going on around the future of work, this book covers it really well. And the extract I'm going to read to you is one of the employees at Netflix, but before he joined Netflix and after. So here's the first extract. Here's an email from PR Director João describing the problem he had at his previous employer. Before Netflix, I worked for an American advertising agency in Sao Paulo, and I loved it. This was my first job out of college, and I gave every ounce of myself. Sometimes I slept on the floor of the copy room in the office to not lose work minutes in commute. I was incredibly lucky, signing 4 huge clients, and within 12 months, I was bringing in more business than those who had been at the company for many years before me. I was so excited to build my career at this company I loved. I knew my senior colleagues had great salaries, double, even triple mine, and I trusted at annual salary review I'd get a big raise, bumping me up closer to my contribution level. End of the year, I had my first performance review and received overwhelmingly positive feedback, 98 out of 100, and the company was boasting their most profitable year to date. I wasn't expecting my salary would double, but my boss had promised he'd take care of me. In the back of my mind, I expected a 10 to 15% raise. The day of the raise meeting, I was so excited I sang with the radio all the way to work. Imagine my disappointment when my boss offered me a 5% raise. To tell the truth, I nearly started crying. The worst part was the way my manager conveyed it with an enthusiastic congratulations and saying this is the best raise he was giving this year. I responded shouting inside my head, "Do you think I'm stupid?" After that, my relationship with my boss plummeted. I kept lobbying for a bigger raise. My boss wailed that he didn't want to lose me and raised the 5% increase to 7%. Beyond that, he said my expectations were unreasonable and naive, and that no company gives annual raises bigger than that. That's when I started looking for another job. João was extremely valuable to his company. His boss hired him at a salary that motivated him. But in just 1 year, João's own growing accomplishments made him infinitely more valuable to his employer and attractive to competitors. Why would his employer offer him a raise that so clearly failed to match his market worth? Now let's see what happens to João when he joins Netflix. Netflix hired me at nearly triple my salary, and I moved to Hollywood. 9 months later, salary adjustments were the last thing on my mind. I went for my weekly walking meeting with my boss around the big block of Netflix Hollywood building. Partway around the block, there is a big dim sum dumpling with blue eyes and a red tongue painted on the wall of a restaurant. At that spot, my boss mentioned he was going to give me a 23% raise in order to keep my salary at top of market rate. I was so shocked I had to sit down next to the dim sum. I continued to have lots of success and I felt I was very well paid. A year later, at annual salary review time, I wondered if I'd get another enormous raise. My boss surprised me again. This time, he said, "Your performance has been excellent and I'm delighted to have you on this team. The market for your position hasn't changed much, so I'm not planning on giving you a raise this year." That seemed fair to me. My boss said if I didn't think so, I should come to him with some data showing the current market for my position. I still like to think about what my first boss told me, that I was naive. Knowing how the corporate world works, I see he was right. I was naive in understanding the processes of business. But on the other hand, isn't it naive for so many corporations to use a raise process that pushes all your best talent out the door? João makes a strong case. So why do companies still follow the normal raise methods? The second extract I'd like to read to you is, I think it summarizes this book and everything that's discussed in this book quite well. I'm going to first use a quote and then I'm going to read the extract. Read sometimes refers to freedom and responsibility as operating on the edge of chaos. And with that, the last extract. In creative companies today, maximizing variation is more essential. In these situations, the biggest risk isn't making a mistake or losing consistency. It's failing to attract top talent, to invent new products, or to change direction quickly when the environment shifts. Consistency and repeatability are more likely to squash fresh thinking than to bring your company profit. A lot of little mistakes, while sometimes painful, help the organization learn quickly and are a critical part of the innovation cycle. In these situations, rules and process are no longer the best answer. A symphony isn't what you're going for. Leave the conductor and the sheet music behind. Build a jazz band instead. Jazz emphasizes individual spontaneity. The musicians know the overall structure of the song, but have the freedom to improvise, riffing off to one another, creating incredible music. Of course, you can't just remove the rules and processes, tell your team to be a jazz band and expect it to be so. Without the right conditions, chaos will ensue. To build a team that is innovative, fast, and flexible, keep things a little loose. Welcome constant change. Operate a little closer towards the edge of chaos. Don't provide a musical score and build a symphonic orchestra. Work on creating those jazz conditions and hire the type of employees who long to be part of an improvisational band. When it all comes together, the music is beautiful. I hope you enjoyed the book review. If you do get to read this book, it will be lovely to hear from you and see what you think. Also, please in the comments, drop a note to let me know what you're reading. I'm looking for new recommendations, so they're always welcome. And I hope you enjoyed this book review. Thank you.